Christmas in July. Let's go make this Christmas tree garland. But first, always remember to share this so it will save to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. I'm going to take one scrap piece of fabric, turn it upside down, and put a piece of flannel on top of it. Now, you can use as many layers as you want. You can also use batting if you would prefer. I'm using flannel because I have all of these scrap pieces, but I am going to double mine up. You see how it's 2 layers? Because I like for it to be a little thicker. And then I'm going to put, so we have one piece of fabric face down, flannel, and then our second piece of fabric face up. The next thing I did was went to hometownquiltcompany.com, downloaded my template. Now y'all know I'm the Sharpie queen, but for this, I'm going to use this fabric marker. One side dissolves with water, mark be gone, and one side dissolves with air, disappearing ink. We're gonna use the disappearing ink side. And I've already told y'all, I feel like a spy when I use the disappearing ink. But because this is gonna be on the outside of my project, I do not want my marks to show, so I need a fabric marker, something that will disappear. You can also use like chalk is great too. I'm tracing my tree. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's going away, remember? Now, I'm gonna go and sew a straight stitch on top of the lines that I just drew. So directly on top of what I just drew. And y'all see how I pushed my scrap flannel to the side? That's because when I cut this off, I'm gonna have enough to make another one. If you wanted your trees to be larger, you could sew on the outside of the line. Or if you wanted them to be smaller, you could sew on the inside of the line. This garland evidently is my current obsession because I made a whole bunch for July 4th. And now I'm working on Christmas in July projects. But you could do this with anything. Now we've sewn it, we're going to cut it out with pinking shears. Do your best not to cut your stitches, but just cut on the outside around your stitches. You don't even have to cut super close to them. Pinking shears are the scissors that cut a zigzag, and it just helps with the fraying of your fabrics. And they're great for anything that's raw edge. This is what you have. Now, these marks should disappear, but I'm going to go make my other ones, and we'll check on it in just a minute. Okay, I forgot to check on it in just a minute, but I'm telling y'all, they did disappear. Use anything you want. A fabric marker's great. They have some tailor's chalk that is great. Somebody on here said children's washable marker. I wouldn't necessarily use it for this because I'm not washing mine. Now, you can wash yours if you want to, but I'm not washing mine, so it would still show. But I thought the children's washable marker was kind of genius for anything else that you're doing, especially something that you're going to wash. Okay, I've just made 4. You can make as many as you want, depending on how long you want your garland to be. Now, I have some double fold bias tape. It's called double fold bias tape because that's exactly what it is. It folds in and ends. It folds in and in again. Do you see how that's open and it folds in and in again? The first thing I'm going to do is find the center of my bias tape. Now, this bias tape is 3 yards long probably. Hang on, let me look. 3 yards. So I'm going to find the center of it. If you wanted your garland to be longer than 3 yards, which is 108 inches, then you could piece some bias tape together. All right, I found the center, so I'm going to put a clip there. And now I need 2 trees on either side of my clip. So I'm going to lay my bias tape down. I'm going to lay my trees out, maybe, like I think I want them. Now, I just used 2 fabrics on mine, but you could use as many as you wanted. I'm going to clip the tips of my trees where I want them. So as I'm sewing my bias tape, when I get to them, I'll know that's where they go. But I want to do that before I start sewing anything because I want to see all of it together. Now, you can obviously measure if you want to. I'm not. So cute. So cute. Now, I'm going to open my bias tape and fold it under like that and close it. And I'm just going to stitch close to the edge. And when I get to the Christmas tree, I'm going to open the bias tape up, put my Christmas tree inside of it, and sew some more. Easy, easy. Yes, you do back stitch when you start and when you stop. And a top stitch is only a straight stitch sewn a little closer to the edge. Now, I like for my top stitching to look like it's about to fall off, but only sew as close as you're comfortable.
And I love bias tape anytime that I can use it because I don't necessarily love making straps. You know, I love bias tape and I love canvas webbing because the straps are so long and you have to iron them and iron them again. And so when you buy the bias tape for 99 cents, you're just sticking it in there and sewing down. It makes your project so fast. And that's what I'm interested in because y'all, I love what I'm making, but I'm ready to move on and make the next thing. No matter what I'm working on, I'm always thinking about what is the next thing that I can sew. And I want to see the ones you make. So be sure to email your photo to hometownquiltcompany@gmail.com.
All right, let's see what we've got. So stinking cute. That is so cute. I already can't wait to see the ones y'all make. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.